Okay, so when faced with a problem like this, how do you know if you should factor? How do you know if you should do long division? Well, right away. Here's the thing. Can you factor this numerator right here? To me it doesn't look very factorable. That's a cubed, not a squared. We don't know how to factor with cubes. Unless it's a difference or a sum of cubes. So, yeah, we don't know how to factor. That's when you know, hey, it's time to do long division. So let's go ahead and write our long division. Now, it's very important. Right here between the y cubed and the y, we need to understand that, hey, there is no y squared. So what you need to actually write is 0y squared minus 2y plus 5. Why? Is this still the same? Is this still the same as the original? Yes, because 0 times whatever y squared is still 0. So that's where we're allowed to put 0y squared there. So let's go ahead and start on our long division. Y times what equals 3y cubed? Y times 3y squared equals 3y cubed. So 3y squared times y is 3y cubed. And now, for long division, you're always going to put the negative sign. The opposite side, basically. So, the negative sign, you put it there. Now, you're not done. What's 3y squared times negative y? 3y squared times negative 3. That's just negative 9y squared, but negative sign. So, the negative times negative is positive, so it becomes a positive. So, 3y cubed minus 3y cubed equals 0. 0y squared plus 9y squared equals positive 9y squared. And now you bring the negative 2y down. Now what do you have? What times y equals 9y squared? Well, 9y times y equals 9y squared. So we have that. But don't forget the negative sign. Now, 9y times negative 3 equals what? Negative 27y. But don't forget negative sign. So it becomes positive 27y. So this cancels out. And what's positive 27y minus 2y? Or negative 2y plus 27y. It becomes 25y. Now what you're going to do, you're going to bring the 5 down now. Y times what equals 25y? Y times 5 equals 25y. So we have, oh, sorry, I meant 25. Y times 25 equals 25y. So 25 times y is 25y. Now notice, as soon as I put 5y, I was immediately be able to tell that I did wrong. Why? Because 5 times y does not equal 25y. So it wouldn't have canceled out. But 25 times y equals 25y, so this ends up actually canceling out. Now, 25 times negative 3 is negative 75. And now, don't forget, negative sign, so it becomes positive. And so this cancels, and now we have 80. Is there anything left to bring down? No, there isn't. So, 80 is a remainder. Now, the remainder is written like this. I know it's very clogged up in here. I'm going to write it again here. Okay. So, the actual answer, your final answer, is going to be 3y squared plus 9y plus 25 plus 80 over y minus 3. Where did I get the 80 and the y minus 3 from? Well, the 80 is right here. The y minus 3 is right here. The remainder will always end up like that. It's whatever number you have left over your divisor right here. And that's how you do long division. Important things to remember. You can't forget to switch the signs. Every single time you multiply and you get an answer, make sure that, hey, think about it. If it has to cancel, you have to put a negative sign there. Or if it's not going to cancel, 3y cubed plus 3y cubed would be 6y cubed. It wouldn't be 0. So you got to make sure you always remember the negative sign for both terms every time you multiply. And of course, you need to remember how to put on the remainder. That's long division. Sounds good.